Hey, how are you? Kumusta po kayo? And thanks for tuning in to another edition of Paul Presents Art. My name is Paul and I'll be your guide today. And today I brought you just outside Vines Den, which is part of the Vines Arts Festival here in Vancouver. Of course, built on the ancestral and traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And we're gonna go inside and have a look at some lens-based work, some photographs and video by artist Rehab Nazzal, titled Driving in Palestine. So I hope you can join me for the tour. Let's go inside and have a look. So the sign outside the gallery, "Listen to the Soldier's Orders," is from the series Apartheid Signs from 2010 to 2020. Digital print on aluminum dye bond, 30 by 40 inches. A subtle hint of what's inside. The facade of the gallery, with its rust-colored screens, seems to mimic protective armor. It's always been there. Entering the first of two galleries, we encounter a series of black and white photographs, framed at a dense cluster on the walls. The series is titled Panoptics in Palestine and consists of 87 photographs, each measuring 16 by 12 inches. We'll have a closer look at some of the photographs as we move through the show. There's also a video playing in the middle of the gallery. Driving to Ramallah from Jerusalem, 2023, single channel video, 9 minutes, and Driving to Ramallah from Salfit, 2023, single channel video, 6 minutes, and playing back to back. For now, let me share a short bio on the artist. Rehab Nazzal is a Palestinian-born, multidisciplinary artist based in Bethlehem and Montreal. Her work examines the effects of settler colonial violence on people, land, and non-human life in Palestine. Nazzal blends experimental, conceptual, and documentary strategies in her photography, film, sound, and installation works. Her process relies heavily on field research, critical thinking, and collaboration with communities. If you're new to the channel, please know that this channel is about art, exhibitions and contemporary, historical, and outsider art, group shows, art collections, etc. I live in Vancouver, Canada, so most of my videos will be based in that region, but I'll cover exhibitions as I travel. These photographs of surveillance towers remind me of the serial photography of German artist Bernd and Hella Becker, who embarked on a series of photographs documenting industrial architecture. I'll get back to that later. Now we've entered the second gallery and are looking at Driving at Home, 2023, single channel video, 96 minutes. For now, we'll do a pan of this gallery and we'll move closer to view each work a bit later. I also want to make mention of something that's very important to be aware of. Throughout the show, there is a subtle audio component playing in the background. Do you hear it? It can seem like a humming sound, as well as nature sounds with bird song. This complement of sounds are vernacular to Gaza, and is an integral part of the exhibition. It creates an atmosphere for contemplating the works, and they conjure up feelings of either dread or tranquility. I'll continue that train of thought in a bit. The unmounted black and white posters stacked on the bench are the same works that are hanging in this gallery, and they are free to take. There used to be a lot of them. The show has traveled to other exhibition spaces, so the stacks have slowly been depleted. The subtle humming is more prevalent in the first gallery, which is populated by photographs of surveillance towers. That humming sound comes from drones and seems to heighten feelings of anxiety. I've been told that it's a familiar sound in Gaza, reminding its residents of the area's constant atmosphere of surveillance. Everyone is being watched through video, watchtowers, and drone activity. The gallery attendant told me that those towers are often unmanned. One never knows. But regardless, their presence is a constant reminder of being monitored and judged. It's a foreboding feeling, cumulatively building anxiety through sound, and reinforced by the mere presence of these towers, these mechanisms of control. Continuing the pan of the show over to the other walls are these pieces that we'll get to in more detail shortly. The works in this gallery takes a broader view of Gaza. with the emotional, even touristic view of the landscape. In my opinion, they are similar to documentary photographs of war zones as a site of interest, with subtle cues that make us realize this is not a city that's at peace with itself. There is no respite, no putting your guard down. Our senses are alerted and heightened. There's evidence of violence everywhere. It's a battleground, a war of ideologies and points of view that created an atmosphere of mistrust since the end of World War II. Now we're looking at driving through Israeli occupation soldiers on the road between Ramallah and Nablus, 2010, mounted on aluminum die bond 30 by 40 inches. Next we have Driving to Bethlehem from Ramallah, 2017, mounted on aluminum die bond 30 by 40 inches. There are a few works in the show that focus on the wall surrounding the Gaza Strip. For millennia, walls have been traditionally constructed to either protect those who live within the walls or to repel potential invaders. Throughout the centuries, architecture and infrastructure relating to conflict management have evolved technologically to the point where walls are now used as control mechanisms. I'll expand on that in a bit. Meanwhile, we are looking at Driving to Jordan from the West Bank, 2012, mounted on aluminum die bond 30 by 40 inches, and followed by Surveillance Cameras in the Kremisan Valley in Bethlehem, 2019, mounted on aluminum die bond 30 by 40 inches. I think it's worthwhile quoting the introduction to the Driving in Palestine exhibition in order to give this set of work some logistical gravitas with regard to infrastructure. And I quote, "In addition to the apartheid wall and segregated colonies and roads, there are over 593 obstacles to Palestinians' freedom of movement within the West Bank as of January 2020. These obstacles include 171 checkpoints, 154 road gates, 68 roadblocks, 109 earthbound walls and trenches, 49 road barriers, and 34 barbed wire fences," unquote. These facts were extracted from the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Occupied Palestinian Territories, June 2020 report. Now we move to a segment of the wall titled Mural of George Floyd on the Apartheid Wall in Bethlehem, 2019, mounted on aluminum die bond, 30 by 40 inches. And you might ask, who is George Floyd? Let me explain that in a bit. These next three works detail more of the artist's travel through Gaza. This work is titled A Map of Routes I Have Taken During My Movement in the West Bank, 2010 to 2020, mounted on aluminum die bond, 30 by 20 inches, which is then followed by The Apartheid Wall in Jerusalem, 2006, mounted on aluminum die bond, 30 by 20 inches. There's also a sign in multiple languages which follows, and is from the series Apartheid Signs, 2010 to 2020, digital print on Sintra, 54 by 40 inches. Getting back to the previous topic, depicting murals on the apartheid wall in Bethlehem, George Perry Floyd Jr. was an African-American man who was murdered by a white police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota, during an arrest made after a store clerk suspected Floyd had used a counterfeit $20 bill on May 25, 2020. One of the four police officers on the scene knelt on Floyd's neck and back for over 9 minutes, fatally asphyxiating him. After this incident, a series of protests against police brutality towards black people quickly spread across the United States and globally. His dying words, "I can't breathe," became a rallying slogan. That was a tragic and often recurring incident citing racial violence, animosity, and within the context of Gaza is a theme that is repeated daily. It is a reminder that life in Gaza is rife with apartheid and discrimination, and has become a normalized, albeit psychologically brutal, reality. And now we enter a small area with a video titled Healing Moments, 2023, single channel video 8 minutes 21 seconds. This video, in my opinion, offers hope for the future by citing elements of tranquility and serenity within the natural environment. The artist traveled throughout Gaza for close to 2 decades, documenting the evidence of injustices and tragedies of the area, mostly through the architectural infrastructure of control, the watchtowers, the walls, the checkpoints. But beyond that, and perhaps even some areas within, are tranquil, utopic oases, where nature simply goes about its daily business of survival, perhaps even unhindered by the politics of humanity. And I want to take a brief moment to talk about something. Politics and art are strange bedfellows. Each discipline has, within its sphere of influence and discourse, certain priorities that dictate their respective levels of engagement. I can't help but think about conceptual art and its relationship to serial photography from a humanistic and intellectual sensibility. These same photographic strategies were used by Germany's Third Reich and Cambodia's Khmer Rouge, to name a few, as documentary evidence of their political will to rule that eventually led to appalling human tragedies. And I think we should take time to pause and consider how these works resonate in the context they were made, that they were made in the hope that one day justice will be served. Until that day. And I think this is a good place to leave things. I hope you enjoyed this exhibition, Driving in Palestine by Rehab Nazzal, here at Vines Art Gallery. If you'd like to share your thoughts, observations, questions, please do so in the comment section below. That would be terrific. Click the like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's free, and as a non-monetized channel, subscribing achieves visibility and creates added awareness of the artist and the gallery. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day, and I hope art continues to inform your life. Tune in again next time for more art-related videos. Goodbye!